Thank you for listening to Sassy Optimist with Cindy Chapin. Well, today is March 25th, 2020. Normally I don't give the dates because it doesn't normally matter, but I debated on whether I should talk about the COVID-19, the coronavirus, because I know personally it's like on one hand I want the information, on the other hand I'm already very exhausted and tired of seeing it, but it does kind of tie into my podcast. But a little over a week ago we've been talking about this for months because at the end of last year, China was really, it was hitting China. But then, I'll just speak for myself. It's, something you knew it was, but I thought it was like more like the normal influenza where, yes, it's something you have to be smart about. I've always said that I'm not a germaphobe, but I'm definitely germ responsible. And I think that's a good thing. But I don't think I took it as seriously as I should have. Now, I'm very fortunate that I have not and will not get sick. But I don't get the flu shot. I've only gotten the flu shot twice in my life. And to be honest, that was the 2 years I got the flu really, really bad. So it could be just total coincidence. I know the flu shot only gives you protection against certain one, whatever it is. There's a lot of mixed information. So I choose not to get the flu shot. So I kind of thought it was going to be more like that, but unfortunately, but also fortunately, it is significantly more. So about a week ago, Tuesday, so about 8 days ago, was here in the States, was when we really felt the impact where businesses started to have to close. With each day, with each hour, it definitely progresses more and more. And I know that there are definitely people who are feeling it a lot more than others, myself included. So, it's impacting every single person. So we have had to stop and, I'm saying this to people that are experiencing it, so I don't need to tell you what this is about. But anyway, so that kind of ties into something I also talk about obsessively, which is Orange Theory. So a week ago Monday was the last time I was able to take a class at Orange Theory. And then on Tuesday, March 17th, was the first day that they had to close the studios, at least here in Georgia. I think all the studios across the United States had to close, but I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure because I know my daughter's still in Nebraska and her studio closed. But anywho, so we could not do Orange Theory. And I love Orange Theory. They very fortunately have done some at-home videos. The group there's two franchisees. I've never met them. I've been told that they're two women who own the 3 location. The one that I work out at, which is Cumberland, which is in a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia. They have Sandy Springs and Smyrna are the 3 locations. And those 3 studios, they have been incredible through this whole thing. The coaches, all of them. They have done things on their own through social media, just posting things, reaching out. They created different accountability groups. So we have like a Cumberland Orange accountability group where we're able to just chat with each other, share silly things. I think today they're probably sick of me because I posted more than once today. But, that has really, really helped to keep that engagement, keep that personal touch. So I cannot say enough about Orange Theory. I'm obviously a huge, huge, huge raving fan. But the reason I think, the reason Orange Theory, because I've continued to work out. Actually, I was very happy this morning. I lost an additional 2 pounds. I took part of a 8-week transformation challenge, and on average, I lost about 2 pounds each week. And during those 2 months of that, I traveled over half of it. So I was on the road a lot. And then, unfortunately, the week before the last week, I had to fly back to Omaha, Nebraska. My dad was put in hospice on a Friday. On a Saturday, my siblings, my brother and my sister let me know I needed to get there ASAP. I got there Sunday night and he passed away Monday night. So I was very fortunate that I was able to see him. And then I was up there for a little over a week, and flew back. But I continued to work out. So I proved to myself that I could still travel. I could still go through a very stressful thing like losing my father and the funeral and flying, coming back. So it just really proved to myself. But One thing we do in Orange Theory, not one thing, it is a big part of Orange Theory. It's called base, push, and then all out. And that's really what I think Orange Theory kind of has helped me with life. So in your workout, you start out with the base, which means it's just like a casual, your heart rate's slightly up. So going out for a walk, getting yourself warmed up, but you can easily talk to people. They're not going to, hear labored breathing or anything, but it's above like what I'm doing right now. I'm just sitting, talking. So we would elevate, and you've got a heart rate monitor on, and they're color coded. And then it goes into what they call a push. So you're kind of challenging yourself. And typically at that point, that is when you move into the orange zone, which thus the name Orange Theory. The orange zone is like your fat burning. It's a really good zone to be in. You want to be there, but you're challenging yourself. But again, I could talk to you, but I might have to slow my words just because my breathing's getting a little labored. It's a little challenging, but it's very manageable. Then an all out is, yes, an all out. It's where you're pushing yourself. Typically, all outs are about 30 to 60 seconds long. And you really are challenging yourself to the point where I would not be able to have a conversation with you, that at the end of it, if you've done it properly, you've emptied the tank, is what I hear a lot. So that to me really ties into life, especially with what's going on right now here. And even in the last 8 days, I've experienced, even within a day or within an hour, a variety of emotions, not just the obvious with that, but just like a lot of people, the fear of losing my job. Our CEO of the company I work for told us on our call on Monday of this week that they were going to probably have to start furloughing people. I'd heard the word before, but really didn't know what it meant. So the minute we hung up, I did a Google search. Furlough basically means that they would put you on pause. They are going to take you off the payroll. You're not going to work, but hopefully when everything gets back to quote unquote normal, they would bring you back. But a furlough means you do not receive a paycheck. I'm very fortunate that we carry all of our insurance through my husband's job. And so that is not a concern for me, but it's a huge concern for a lot of people I work with. But obviously, do not want to lose my job, do not want to lose the paycheck. So I've gone through a variety of emotions. So even after that, it was kind of right after that phone call, I got off and I went into an emotional all out where instantly, I'll be honest, I was pretty angry. And then I went to tears. And as I'm crying, because I'm such an auditory person, I was pacing in my living room and talking to myself, actually quoting a scripture, which is, I am clothed in strength and dignity, and I laugh at the future without fear. And then the second part, so it's Proverbs 31:25, and then the part 26 is the other verse I've been memorizing. I will speak with wisdom and faithfulness. Instruction is on my tongue. And I think I got that wrong now. But anyway, pretty close. And it doesn't say I. I say I because I'm telling myself that. I was saying that out loud over and over and over because I know that God is in control of everything, but at the same time, very human and very overwhelmed. So I went into an emotional all-out. Luckily for me, it was just like an all-out at Orange Theory where it didn't last long. I was able to get myself out of it. But what happened with that emotional all-out is I then kind of pulled back and went into a push pace because I was stabilizing myself, but I was no longer crying. And then I was able to get myself back into a base pace of emotion because I have to call franchisees right now who are being forced to or have had to choose to close their doors. They're not making money. They have staff that the majority of them cannot keep them on payroll, and stylists we work mostly on commission, so a lot of stylists are one paycheck away from being homeless. So they're mentally exhausted from, what they're dealing with, financially very challenged, and then I'm talking to them one after another. So, but I will not waver in my emotion to them. They don't need that. They need me to be a rock. But so I'm having these conversations with them that are very challenging. But what I learned in my emotional, all out to a base or all out to a push to a base is I was able to stabilize myself fairly quickly. I'm getting stronger in my emotions. So it's kind of the same thing with Orange Theory. When I'm going into my push and my all out, I'm increasing it because I'm building my endurance. So it's teaching me. Then there was a coach in a class just a little over a week ago when we were in our all out. He said, empty the tank, it's your last all out. If I were to walk up and hit just point 1, point 2, you wouldn't even notice, so do it for yourself. And I did, and he was right. And that's just one of the many examples. But I'm learning that I can push myself a lot further, not only physically with working out, but emotionally. And so Orange Theory, gosh, I mean, it's just like, I need to. I won't get a tattoo. I mean, I do have 2 tattoos, but I'm not going to get an Orange Theory tattoo. But I absolutely love it. I love the community. I love the people that I'm meeting. And maybe someday, who knows, I will meet the woman who started the company. I should remember her name. I actually just was watching a little video on her life story, as far as my brief understanding. I know she has a book. I'm going to get it and read it. She was, I believe, 54 years old, had worked in the fitness industry in California, and her boss called her in and fired her, and she was a single mom. So I'm 53, almost 54. So it's about my age, and that's kind of what I felt like with Regis. I could, and it still could happen, because our CEO said he would let everybody know by Monday. So this is a Wednesday, so Thursday, Fridays. So in like 4 or 5 days, we'll find out more. And depending on how long all of this lasts, even if I don't get furloughed on Monday, it could happen if it gets extended. So, but you know what? With that, just like the gal that started Orange Theory, if she had been fired from that job, really pushed into an all-out emotional, she wouldn't have created what has helped so many people with not only their health, but with so many other things. So as you can tell, I'm obviously a huge fan of Orange Theory and all the coaches. I'm going to do a quick shout out. I don't even think any of them follow or listen, but I'm just going to. So I travel a lot. I've had a lot of amazing coaches. But one in particular, when I travel to where my corporate office is at, her name is Mary. She is absolutely amazing. I adore her. She's at the Edina studio. I hope to get back there soon to coach Mary. Home studios, a lot of amazing coaches. And I feel bad for even not saying all of the names of the coaches I've had. But Andrea has definitely been one that has made a big difference in me. Coach Randy, he's actually a head coach, Randy. He was the one that oversaw the Transformation Challenge. I've just really grown to appreciate him, and I love his coaching style. He's kind of like a Jillian Michaels kind of person. I really like it. And then JJ, actually my husband was teasing me. He's like, is JJ like your boyfriend? I'm like, no, because I would come home and talk about JJ a lot. He used to coach at the studio. Now he's coached a different one. He is just got the best personality. I just enjoy him so much. So, and there's, again, I've never had a bad coach, but those are definitely the top ones. So again, thank you to Coach Mary, Andrea, to Randy, and to JJ for everything that you've done and everything you will continue to do to help to challenge me. Take care, everybody. And thank you for listening to Sassy Optimist with Cindy Chapin.